Enjoy battling opponents using powerful creatures, mystical incarnations, and clever champion counterplay? Hey everyone, it's Andrew from Cursed, and today let's look at the amazing world of Enwrath by learning how to enjoy HEX Shards of Fate. In the beautiful game of HEX, the goal is to eliminate the opponent's champion shown in the upper left section of the screen. The number represents the opponent's hit points, and the player must use cards to deal damage to their foe until they reach 0. The player's champion shown on the bottom left of the screen must be kept alive by any means necessary. When a match starts, the player first chooses what deck to play with, or can build one as needed. Whoever wins the coin flip gets to choose who goes first and who draws first. Each player is given 7 cards from their deck and can then decide to keep it or draw a new hand. However, each time they redraw, they will obtain 1 less card at the start of the game. The player must summon cards from their hand onto the table in order to attack the enemy champion. When it is the player's turn, their side of the table is highlighted and their champion has a gold animated border. Everything in HEX Shards of Fate has a specific resource cost to put it into play. Shown in the upper left corner of the card, resources are listed as Ruby, Wild, Diamond, Sapphire, and Blood, each with a specific color. Each turn allows the player to place only 1 resource into their total pool each turn, but it increases the size of the pool permanently. As the player uses resources, the number on the left of this box gets subtracted, but restores them to full power on their next turn. To the right of the total pool, the player can see the amount of each type of resource, but we will get to that in a second. It's time to put some cards on the table in order to deal out some hurt. Summoning troops to fight is easy. Take a look at the upper left corner of a creature you would like to summon. This is its resource cost. It does not matter what kind of resources the player has, with one exception. If a card has a resource symbol along the left edge, the player must have at least that many of that color resource as part of their total pool. This is known as the threshold requirement. It doesn't matter if the rest of the required resource is a different type at all. Get the troop onto the playing field and get ready for some destruction. Once a creature is summoned onto the battlefield, they will not be able to attack until their next turn. Right-click on it to take a better look. The bottom left axe symbol represents how much damage the troop can deal to the enemy, known as attack. And the bottom right shield symbol shows how much health the creature has, known as defense. During the next turn, the game will ask during the attack phase which card the player would like to attack with, if any, and they will always automatically target the enemy champion. Once the loyal troop attacks, they will become exhausted and turn sideways, indicating that they cannot attack again until the next time it is the player's turn. The opponent is trying to do the same thing, but there is a way to help the champion to survive. During the attack phase of the opponent's turn, the player can choose their own troops to block the enemy creature's attacks. Look carefully at what the opponent creature's attack and defensive numbers are, because the damage and defense will be applied against the player's blockers. If a troop dies, it gets removed from the board and goes into the crypt pile. The battle will continue to rage until one player's hit points are obliterated. Many troops have special abilities listed directly under their artwork to help make them stand out from the bunch. Right-clicking on any exposed card will allow the player to read all details of the special abilities and requirements. The player can also right-click any of the opponent's exposed cards as well. For example, a creature with the flight ability can't be blocked unless the opponent also has a creature with flight. Hover over any green text to learn more about the ability. Later on, when a player begins building decks and collecting cards, they may want to pay attention to the card's rarity. Indicated on the bottom right corner of a card's artwork, it can be fun to put out those cards during a battle to show off a little bling. As a player progresses through basic combat, some additional card options may appear from their deck. Quick action cards can be used at any time to buff the player, defend against an attack, or have a special ability activate. Basic action cards do the same, but can only be played during the player's turn. Each of the 2 types of action cards automatically get put into the crypt pile after use. A more permanent type is a constant card. Constants work similarly to basic and quick actions with 2 exceptions. They can't be used during the opponent's turn, plus they remain permanently in effect and do not automatically go into the crypt. Read the details of each as they tend to be rather powerful. Another type of card in the game is called an artifact. which are basically constructions developed by hand from the creatures in the world of Enrath. Some have special effects, give resources, and some are both an artifact and a troop. A typical example would be a robot or an automaton powered by magic. How does a player pick a champion? Representing a look or a belief might be noble, however, each champion also has a very special ability that separates them from others. Hovering over the square icon to the right of the champion explains what their special ability can do whenever the player can play the charge and meets the threshold cost. Whenever a champion plays a resource, they gain a charge, and using their special ability by clicking on the square will activate it, spending the charges. These tend to be fairly powerful, and as such, the player will have to play more resource cards to gain back more charges to activate it again. They do not come back each turn like resources do. HEX Shards of Fate offers a tutorial in the game plus a gradual story campaign that will guide the player further. Learn how to create a deck with the deadliest combos and practice playing against the AI. Once a player is ready, it's time to dazzle and devastate friends and anyone else foolish enough to take on your choice of champion and troops under your command. Whether it's freestyle combat or competing in organized tournaments, HEX Shards of Fate is a blast. This has been Andrew from Curse saying thanks for watching, and remember to enjoy the game.